We are taking your calls. We'll get to some calls here in just a second, but before we do that, joined in studio by Tim Benz. Tim, we got to talk about the latest reported proposal from the NFL to the Players Association. They have proposed an 18-game schedule, and this is something you and I talked about in this very show not too long ago, but we're now hearing an 18-game proposal, but a 16-game maximum for players on the roster. I'm very curious, Tim, to see how you think how this could work.
You're not curious. You know how I think about this, and I think it's stupid.
I was being coy.
It's a dumb idea. It's dumb from the standpoint of making players sit in a season where the NFL loves to make it sound like every game counts. Well, if you're burying guys on your roster, you're suggesting the exact opposite. A couple things here. If they do go forward with this stupid idea, and it is stupid, but if you go forward with this stupid idea, then make sure that quarterbacks, punters, long snappers, kickers, they get an exemption. If you play those positions, you should be allowed to play every week. Secondly, if you're going to do this, get rid of interconference games because everybody, mathematically you can't do this, Josh, but they will load up on having guys sit in interconference games. And you only get to see those interconference games in your stadium once every 8 years. You only play against the other team once every 4. But those are, in essence, going to become glorified preseason games because, look at it this way. If Team X plays Team Y in the AFC, and like, for instance, if somebody played the Colts this year, like if the Patriots had played the Colts or the Steelers had played the Colts early this season and they had sat their guys against the Colts because they thought, okay, that's a layup win. Well, the Colts were better than what they were.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, you get around to the end of the season, you lose a head-to-head tiebreaker because you sat guys against a team that didn't look to be as good when you were playing them. Like, that's why it only makes sense to do this in the interconference games.
And maybe it costs the coach a job.
Right.
If it comes down to that.
You know, and like I would also say it's very dangerous for the offensive linemen too.
Agreed.
Because you're doing this allegedly to protect the players, right? So
they say.
Let's say you're on an offensive line, a good offensive line, and you're a backup offensive lineman, and you play every week, but you have to be sat down for 2. You're B.J. Finney, basically.
Or Matt Filer.
Or Matt Filer. He did eventually get hurt last year. But more to the point, if you rarely have to play, and you're not subjecting your body to a lot of wear and tear, but you have to sit down, and then the starting tackle does get hurt. Now you're down to a third stringer against Von Miller. You're going to get a quarterback hurt, and this thing's going to backfire.
I have nothing to refute to that. That all sounds good to me. 412-575-2600 on the board of symbol. Paul on the north side. Paul, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Yeah, hey, Josh, how are you tonight?
Good, how you doing?
Okay. Hey, the Pirates have 71 games left, okay? 41 against their Central Division opponents.
Yep.
Okay, every Central Division team lost except for the Cubs.
Right.
Tonight, looks like they're all going to win except for the Pirates. So if the Pirates keep that trend up, we might as well write them off right now because, with 41 games against division opponents, they win one, lose one. They're never going to make any ground up. They'll be
2.5 back just like they were to start the year by that math.
Pretty much.
If the same thing happens.
Pretty much.
After St. Louis. 8.5 games out after St. Louis.
That's also assuming,
them too.
but you're also assuming that the other teams in the division win, and thank you for the call. But
and eventually they're going to play each other too.
Right.
Again, you run out of math there with 5 teams in the division.
Exactly, because anytime you beat a team,
that's not going to happen anyway.
If you beat a team ahead of your division, you gain a game, and if you lose a game. But if you keep doing that, like you mentioned, you're going to end up right back where you started. So it's pretty much a 360 type of scenario. I think I know where Paul's going.
If you're going to go with the right off the Pirates call, then go with if your starter gives up 7 runs every game in the first inning.
Usually
you're going to be in trouble.
Usually a good reason. Now, the thing about Jordan Lyles that might make it a little bit more frustrating is that start comes off the heels of Chris Archer looking a lot like the Chris Archer that he looked like before he came here.
Like, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's more of what you wanted out of him. But like we said before, then you get into the bullpen issues. So
it seems like if it's not one thing, it's another thing. Probably not a good situation to have. Let's go to Bob in Clearfield. Bob, you're on the night.
Hi, gentlemen. Thanks so much. Just to be quick, I'm not a prophet of gloom and doom, but he said if these last 2 games are par, so the forecast of what we can expect over the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, he said, I believe he said that anybody on that roster, aside from Josh Bell, who's earned more than league minimum, could be trade bait. It looks to be like this is going to be sorry dumb 2019 over again. And he said the contending teams, he said, are going to be dealing from a position of strength. And what they do trade, which is probably going to be Vasquez, I'm not looking for anything close to comparable value. Certainly not.
Who
certainly
said that
not-
exactly?
Certainly not what we got.
No,
had to give up
I have a
what we
question.
did.
Who exactly said what you're talking about here?
What I was trying to say to you is that anybody 2 weeks from now.
Who's saying this? Or are you saying this in a
This is
vacuum?
me. This is me. This is
Because
what
I
am
thought you said
looking
he
at.
said. Sorry. My mistake.
I was saying he said, I'm working on past history, and I believe he said if it turns out to be 2019, there will be anybody, the higher salary players could go with little in return because you're dealing from
Yeah, but Vasquez, I appreciate the call. But Vasquez is not that high of a salary player, which is part of the reason they should hold on to him.
He's making what, $4 million this year?
He's not going to make, even if he goes through the options at the end of his contract, I don't think any of them is higher than 10
per.
So basically, even if by the end of his contract, he'll be making less than Cervelli now.
Right, because he's making $5.75 next year. I think $7.5 the year after that, and two $10 million options, which is about half of market rate for a really good closer right now. Then again, it might be 2/3 of market rate because Craig Kimball's getting 15 in the next 2 years. I think that's safe to say.
If you believe the reports that are out there, the Pirates are asking for 2 of the Dodgers' top 4 prospects and what's supposed to be a very good prospect system for Los Angeles, one of whom is a big 6'6" right-handed pitcher. That's the guy I would demand comes back in return. 2 of the other 3 are guys that catch and or play third base, and then the guy in between is a shortstop, second base prospect. They're all pretty highly legit prospects in the Dodgers organization, but I would make sure I got that pitcher. And I wouldn't do it anyway, Josh, because like I said, if you look at their history of trading closers, it's good if they have the closer coming back. Like when they dealt Hanrahan, they got Melanson back.
Now that's a good example of past history.
When they dealt Melanson, they got Vasquez back. And they thought Vasquez would, that Watson would beget Vasquez. It's just that Watson didn't work out. Now you're hearing if they do try to acquire, it's going to be Watson coming back, which I'm not sure if I believe.
And in that same trade where they traded Melanson, they also got Taylor Hearn, who turned into Keone Kela. Now that deal hasn't worked as well, but they did manage to get 2 back.
I think Hearn got through one third of an inning, a la what happened with Lyles today, then got hurt in Texas, and that's been his major league career so far.
That's not good. Can't go back to the phone lines. Mike in Bethel Park, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Yeah, hey guys, appreciate the call. Both of you guys, excellent.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. On Cervelli, are they stuck with him for 2 years guaranteed, or can they move him or dump him and get some money freed up for down the stretch here?
That's a good question. Thanks for the call. My initial thought...
They would have to DFA him.
They would have to designate him for assignment. That's my initial thought, because moving him to a team, he really has no value. What are you going to get back in return? Are you going to want pay to bring on a guy who probably can't play his position right now?
The only team that would want Cervelli, I would think, would be an American League team.
That can DH him.
That could DH him if necessary. Or, there could be a team, maybe even in the National League, that has a catching crisis right now.
Right.
And they want a guy who maybe can float and do first base or third base in a pinch, but a team that needs a second catcher, and you're not going to get much in return for him.
Like if you're looking at a Buster Posey type of situation, if that's the need, but let's not kid ourselves. Francisco Cervelli's not a Buster Posey to where even if he played more than one position, he doesn't really have the offensive punch to really merit that.
He was hitting 191 before he got hurt.
Right. It just hasn't been there to merit that kind of necessity for a guy like that. Let's go to Terry and Gibsonia before we take a break. Terry, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Bats, and I think that Archer's coming around. I think they should be buyers this time this year, and I think they get another good starting pitcher. They'll be set.
Set? I think they need a lot more than just one more.
I can't go with set. I'll go with in a better position than they are now, which makes me feel better, but I wouldn't go with set.
I think one thing that we learned from the acquisition of Archer is you go big to get a starting pitcher when you think that's the only thing missing.
Right.
Like the Red Sox, for instance, went out and got a guy today in Cashner.
Yeah, Cashner.
I thought they were going after Wheeler. That had been most of the reports coming out of New England. But they went out and got Cashner because they think that 5th spot has been such a hole that's been preventing them from at least catching up to the wild card. I don't know if that's enough to get the Red Sox over Tampa and over New York, especially with the AL and the way it's going. But You know, I think they would be hesitant to go big on like Madison Bumgarner sitting where they're sitting right now because he still only goes once every 5. Like, you need to get 2 or 3 arms at this point, I think, to make a difference.
And he
at
has
least 2.
He has his own injury issues, too.
Right, because we're talking about Tyon probably not coming back. We're talking about Lyles not being good enough. You don't know about Williams from start to start right now. So does one starter really make the difference to get you over the hump if you're still in 4th place by the time the deadline rolls around?
That's a good point. We'll take a break. We got more phone calls to get to. Stick around.